Hello, Danvers, and welcome to Lead On. My name is Gayla Bartlett, and this is where I get to sit with some of our wonderful community leaders out there doing great things in the Danvers community. Today, I am excited. I have the new 2 months in the position, Director of the Council on Aging, Matthew Mitchell. Welcome, Matthew.
Very much. Thank you. Appreciate you having me.
Absolutely. So first of all, welcome to Danvers.
Thank you. Thank you. It's been great so far. About 2 months, like you said. So
2 months.
Getting the lay of the land and really hoping to do some great things.
So you have a background in social services, is that correct?
Yep. So I'm a licensed social worker by trade. Worked with all kinds of individuals, mental health, substance use, youth, adults. And now I'm working with seniors. So
I love it.
Hoping to take some of the things I've done in the past and bring it to our seniors here in Danvers.
I think that's wonderful. The fact that you have that social work background is huge. And I think, like we talked about, having a new set of eyes on things. And one of the things I'd like to talk about first, and then we can talk about your vision and all the great things that you have coming for the senior center. The epidemic of loneliness and isolation among the elderly. Yes, it's amongst everybody, but I was doing my research and reading and the health effects that loneliness can lead to their blood sugar going up, their blood pressure, vision loss, hearing loss. All these interactive skills are lost with the loneliness. So what are you doing, or what do you want to do to make sure this doesn't happen?
Yeah, and I honestly think we're seeing the effects of COVID, you know, of times where people were really isolated for a long period of time and cut off from some of the services, including the senior center, in ways that they weren't expecting or ever anticipating. So, you know, for us, a big focus of my work is going to be increasing social services and not more like clinical stuff like anything like that, but more opportunities of just getting together, talking with one another, socializing, doing fun things, and having those fun things be related to or tied back to the things that are going to impact someone's well-being. So, you know, if you're doing a fun activity, you're doing it for the activity, but you're also getting the benefits of socializing and interacting with others. And so I think we got to do more with trying to get people in cheap, you know, not have classes that are too expensive, and find things that are tailored to meet people's needs. I think, you know, the people that know how to use the senior center best are the seniors that come to the senior center. So we're really looking forward. We're in the process of developing a survey to really put out to everyone, not just the people that come to the center, but anybody that could potentially come to the center, to give feedback about how they envision the center being used and how we could draw them in more. So our great program coordinator and I, Liz Barnes, have been talking a lot, as well as our assistant director, Paula, about how we can continue to build upon what we have, but look towards, you know, progressing forward with new things and new programs to get even younger and older, or however many seniors we have, into the doors.
I think that's great, and especially when we talked about affordability. Many of our seniors struggle financially living on Social Security. If they don't have a pension, they don't have retirement, they don't have a 401k. So they're bringing in maybe $1,200 a month, and if they're on a fixed income, which that is, and they have no savings, and then they have subsidized rent, when they pay the groceries, if they even have enough for that after SNAP, and then they're paying their prescriptions, they're lucky if they have $10 left after the month. So to go to the exercise classes like we talked about, that could be $55 a month, that's out. They can't even afford that. So my question to you was, before we started talking, how can you make it affordable for the senior citizens who can't even afford, you know, blessings at the, you know, their little senior shuttle is free, right? If they take that, even taking the ride places, they have to pay a couple of dollars. So how would you make those classes affordable to the seniors who can't?
Yeah, I think there's two. I think we got to find ways that we can subsidize as much as possible, if not scholarships of folks. And that's something that we have available right now. We got to do a better job, I would say, of letting people know about those resources, because as we were talking about, it can take a lot for someone to ask for help in that regard, especially when it comes to money. But I do think that scholarships are big, and I think that as much as we can take on the costs, you know, within reason, of course, and within our budget, how can we maybe pay for the things that we don't want people having to pay for? You know, I was just talking to one of our staff, and I was like, we need to do a balance between bringing money in, but also at the main end of it is bringing people in. So we don't want cost either to us or to the person to drive whether or not we can offer services. So you know, we're looking for services that people like to come to. If they can pay, great, and if they don't have to, you know, I think we can find ways to cover a lot of it for folks. So my message to folks is if they do have any interest in the senior center or have any ideas of something that we could offer, bring it to us and we'll brainstorm and we'll problem solve, because we're not in the position to be saying no to really a lot right now, because we really want to get people back into the center as much as possible. Not to say that we don't have a very good amount of people coming right now. It's a great, I think we average like 400 people through the center each month. But
that's amazing.
We want to keep building upon that. We appreciate those folks coming. We appreciate them engaging in our programs, and that only allows us to promote it to other folks. And word of mouth is powerful. So if we can get them to also say, hey, you should come and check out this, or you should come out check out that. We need to have an anchor program for people to say, oh, I got to come there because I want to check that out. And then you build around that, and you have other services that people want to do.
It's great. We talked about the meals.
Yes.
Because you call it, is it the traveling chef?
We have that once a month.
Okay.
And then there's congregate lunch, which is every day.
Okay, so tell me about that. We talked about that, and you said it was a suggested donation of $2.
Yep.
But you want to broaden the menu selection, it sounds like.
Yeah, I mean, one thing that we're exploring right now. So congregate lunch is daily. It's between 12 and 1:30 typically. And anyone can come for a meal. We have meals that are prepared off-site and then delivered on-site through our senior services agency that covers this area age span. So we have a pretty dedicated group of people, I would say probably between 10 and 15 a day, that come and, get that meal. They can get it for free if they don't have the money to pay for it. Recommendation of $2 is just to kind of keep it going back into the program so we can put that funding into other new programs. But we also want to offer a variety. We have an ability to look at that, and people don't like to have just one option. It's nice to have multiple options where if I don't like this, then maybe I can try something else. So we're already starting to look at our budget and what we could potentially explore in that regard. But I've done in my first couple months a couple tours of other senior centers just to get a better sense of what is already happening and what we can either take from them, borrow from them, or as I was saying to some of the staff, of if they're not offering it, maybe we can offer it, or if they're offering it on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, maybe we can offer it on Tuesday, Thursday, because we also see a large amount of people going between, and I'd rather supplement what they're doing, not supplant or do the exact same thing. So it's been helpful for me to see what other folks are doing in our neighboring towns and cities, and see what we can adapt to bring here. So the food is definitely one big thing that I'm looking at with some research and really trying to better understand how we can make that even more of, and like I said, an anchor potentially for people to come in, because food always brings people together.
Yes, it does.
We bring the food, and then we can build around that.
Lots of food. And then, just some of the programs you have, being active in the Maple Street Church. I know a lot of our members go.
Yep.
They participate in Zumba.
Yep.
Apparently that is very popular, very exciting. I was told I can come, but I probably won't be able to keep up with them. So that was a great conversation, by the way. These are the 75-year-olds telling me this. And I said, you know what? You're probably right. I probably couldn't keep up with you. I said, I will try a class, but I'll probably collapse halfway through what you guys are doing. And I know they have, Paula does arts and crafts, which very hot, by the way. I want to come to an arts and crafts class because the things she does are so cute. And then you have an art show coming up.
So we have a bunch of different things. The fitness classes are definitely the bigger draws. We have Zumba, we have chair toning, we have chair yoga, we have line dancing. So
I think I'm going to come to line dancing.
Oh, you can come anytime. I think I got challenged last time. I was talking to one of the instructors of like, why haven't you taken it yet? I was like, well, I don't have the appropriate attire, so I'm sorry I can't. But I'd probably be in the same boat as you of not being able to keep up with folks.
Love line dancing, though. But one of the great things you said, and because I got my AARP card as soon as I turned 50, I'm very excited that I just got that. And my friends are like, why? I said, because it says I can. At 50, got my trunk organizer, I got my card, I'm all official.
Nice.
The magazines are riveting. I'm like, that's good to know. Oh, didn't know that. But you said that people can come to the senior center even if they're not 65.
Yep. We don't really have an age restriction. I mean, as much as I think there's a stigma that we serve because
it
says seniors and council on aging.
Didn't know this.
We have activities and programs for anyone. We're not going to turn away anybody if you have an interest. And if you come early, then as you age, maybe you'll keep coming back, and maybe you'll have other people that you're friends with say, hey, you should use some of the services. So, we have a lot of rooms in that building. We have a lot of different things that are happening, and we're looking at it from how can we make things even more attractive or impactful for people. So there are a lot of things that we've done for a long time that are great and people enjoy, and then there's some things that we're like, maybe we should do things a little bit differently. And that's not with the intention of changing or anything. It's just adapting to the needs of the incoming seniors, I guess, the
Yep.
seniors aging into 60, 65.
That will want different things.
That want different things. You know, what used to work or what people liked in the 90s and the 2000s might not be what the seniors want now. So we do have art classes, as you mentioned. Watercolor is the big one right now.
Really?
That people enjoy. The fitness classes are big. And then, honestly, we just have things going on all the time. So as much as we have these, you know, these classes you need to sign up for and come to, you could come at any time, any day, and play cornhole, bocce, board games, regular card games. We got poker. We got all these different things that I think people don't realize. You could come at any time between Monday and Friday.
Didn't
8
realize
to 4,
this. This is great that you're here.
and you could just bring a group of people, or you can just come solo. And I'm sure there'll be somebody around that would be interested in doing something with you. So
Yeah, and then you have someone that always sings. Isn't there? Talk to me, because I've come in before and just popped in, and is it a singer or a band?
So we have two different
Okay.
musical acts. The first one is there's an individual that comes in every so often, whenever he can really come in, and he plays the piano in the main parlor area. And particularly people enjoy that because it gives you that kind of just nice piano music, kind of like elevator music. And people usually congregate for that. And then we have a band. We actually had to replace the band that we had for a long time because they just said they couldn't do it anymore.
Yeah.
But we got a new band, and that's on Thursdays when the traveling chef is there, so that you're having food while listening to the band. And the traveling chef, to go along with the congregant meals, as we were talking earlier, is a once a month. It's like a fine dining type of meal where it brings in a good amount of people. I think last month I brought in 90 people in a single
And
session.
that's big for that.
Yeah, and we
room.
changed it because the great room, you know, fits a good amount of people, but we didn't want to have any wait lists or anything, so we can get as many people to come. So as much space as we have, we can accommodate as much as that room lets us to accommodate. But we're looking at other ways of using other rooms so that we can get as many people and not have a waiting list or have a capacity.
Oh, that would be neat.
Impact things, right?
Like a little subset room to the left, because you have.
We have the great room. We got 2 classrooms. We have the art room. We have a fitness center. We have a billiards room.
I like the billiards room.
The patio area, and then our social seniors area, which is a separate program that runs within
That's
it.
the daycare, isn't it?
Yeah,
Or-
it's called the Adult Supportive Day
Okay.
program. It's for folks that you could pay out of pocket, or we also have scholarships for people who can't. And it's a little bit more of a structured day where there's staff that's supporting activities. So, you know, they may be doing memory or activity things, keeping people moving that may not just come to the center by themselves. They need a little bit more support. And that's we have a good crew of people. I want to say between like 8 and 10 people. I think our max is 12. But it's a good way for caregivers to, you know, have their parents or whoever they're supporting get out of the house for a little bit.
They get a little bit of a break.
A little bit of a break, and it's be supported by staff. We have activities staff as well as a registered nurse who kind of oversees and coordinates the efforts. So that's another one. If people don't know about, they should call the senior center and ask about that.
There's a lot.
There is.
And you have Grandma's Attic. Is that what it's called? The little shop when you walk in?
Oh, yes. It's called...
what is it called? It's not
I think it's Onion Town... Oh, gosh. Now you put me on the spot in my 2 months.
Oh,
it's
sorry.
Onion Town Gift Shop.
Because I called it Grandma's Attic,
Hey,
so I
it's not
think
a bad
yours is
name.
probably cuter. I don't know. I thought it was Grandma. I mean, maybe I just went with Grandma. But the stuff in there is really cute, and what a bargain! Like you can get jewelry and all kind. Can you tell I've shopped there?
Yes, I can tell, and I'm glad you do.
When I go to visit my friends who work there, I'm like, oh, what do we have over here today? But there's always cute things, and then handyman services. Talk about that.
Yeah, so we have once a month we have a group of seniors who offer their Fix-It services.
Yeah.
So it's called Mr. Fix-It. And so if you have anything that you may need fixing, they'll give it a try. They may not guarantee they can fix it, but they might be able to fix it. I think more often than not, they are able to fix it. So if that's like chairs, appliances, whatever it may be, they're there. I think it's 3 or 4 individuals, and they're ready to help if they can. So if you have any, you just got to call the senior center, make an appointment, and you can kind of come in. I think it is also drop in if you need to, but
I think that's great.
And the gift shop's great too because it's just donations, so people are getting rid of stuff or just
And the money goes.
right back to the programs. Yep.
Isn't that amazing?
It's a nice little thing, yeah. So we really try to encourage people. You know, usually it's people come in for a program and then they leave, and they always kind of stop at that before they
I've
walk
seen
out.
it. Yes, it's very hard not to stop there. There's cards.
Yep.
So if you needed a last minute gift,
Yep.
if you don't have a card and you don't think you can get to the store, you can just get one there.
Yep.
I'm doing this pitch for you because I think
Jewelry.
it's one. Yeah,
Yep.
I've already bought some of
Yep.
the jewelry. So it's
Mugs.
all kinds of stuff.
It's kind of little knickknacks that are in good shape, we kind of make sure
Yep.
we're putting good quality stuff out there.
Stuff that's going to sell.
Yeah, and
And the prices are amazing.
usually between $2 and I think the most I saw was maybe $5.
Yeah. They're bargains.
There can't be very much. And
They're bargains.
the best, I had someone come in the other day and ask if they could buy the shelf that the that the products were on. I was like, I can't give you that, but what about this jewelry over here?
Yeah.
But it's a good little shop that gets some traction.
And your volunteers work it.
We do, yeah. We have, I want to say 2 or 3 folks that kind of regularly come in.
I love it.
I know one volunteer really owns it and goes through the stuff, displays it in a
upsells.
way, and explains to people kind of where they come from.
Yes,
and
one of
why
them
we're
has
doing
tried to upsell me many times.
it. Hey,
She's cute. She's like, don't you want that too, Gayla? And I'm like, yeah, no, I love you, but I just need that.
might have to give her a raise.
She's great. Yes, her volunteer hours.
Yes.
She's wonderful. And then you also have Veteran Services.
Yes.
Is based out of there as well, correct?
Yep. So they are, my office is right here. They are right next to me, which is helpful because they have veteran social hours on Thursdays. So they have a good dedicated group of people that come and chat and just have coffee and get, talk about and reminisce on different things.
It's great.
And then we also offer veteran counseling services out of there. So the veterans partner with the Vet Lowell Center, and they have a clinician who's able to meet with folks out of the senior center if they're a veteran themselves. So right now that's on Thursdays all day. We're looking maybe to expand going forward, but yeah, it's a nice thing. I think that it's a nice natural partnership that made a lot of sense. So
absolutely,
we love having them there.
And you also have caseworkers, right, that are there, or people that can support the seniors filling out SNAP applications and applications for housing and things that the seniors really don't understand, even Medicare.
That's the big one. Yep.
I know. I was there with my mother.
Yep.
Believe it or not. So I can act. My mom's since passed. It'll be a couple of years now. But I can tell you on the other side, being an only child and having to walk through this with my mother, that knowing I had friends at the Danvers Senior Center that I could bring her in and we could talk and get all those questions answered is huge.
Yep.
And I think there's a senior perspective, but there's also the adult child perspective and knowing how important those services are.
100%.
And because it's so confusing, I couldn't even figure it out. I said, what do you mean there's part A, part B? And my mother's looking at me and I'm like, she goes, well, you went to college. I said, yeah, Mom, I love you, but this is not what I'm a marketing person.
I didn't go for this.
I don't even understand what half this stuff is. And then I have to get you supplemental insurance and we have to get this. And so having those people there that can walk you through it is huge.
Yeah, I would say Lisa Westrade is our outreach coordinator, and she other than doing Medicare and Shine, which I'll talk about in a second, can assist with a whole range of things. And she's been there for a decade plus now. So.
I think she probably sat down with us.
Yeah, she probably
I was
did.
like, I brought the paperwork and said, what?
She knows those applications and the paperwork like the back of her hand. It's actually quite astonishing.
It's daunting.
So we have her, and then we have 2 Shine volunteer counselors that come on Tuesdays and Wednesdays each week. And basically they sit in one of our offices and people make appointments and they can go in and they'll take you through the ABCs of it. I know open enrollment tends to be the crazy time in September, October, November, December. But right now people still come in. They look at it from the perspective of even if you don't have an immediate need right now, it would be helpful to come just check in with a counselor because things may change, options might change. They're constantly adapting and trying to figure out what makes sense for people. And they also know some of the ins and outs that maybe you don't know just reading the paper. Or like, it's kind of like if you've done it for a while, you know the tricks and the things that you need to get it nice and done easily. So they're there, and we encourage, the spots do fill up quickly. So I encourage people call often and early to sign up. You can sign up as far in advance as you want to. But if you have any questions, Lisa Westrade's usually our go-to person on that.
Which is great.
Yep.
And then your newsletter that comes out.
Yeah, that's our Bible. Everybody that goes.
You want to do a plug for sponsors?
Yes, yeah. So we have the Oniontown Seniors is our newsletter. This past month featured my face right on the front page. But it is the #1 thing that people want to get. And it really is detailing everything
They want the hard copies, though, because you got to talk about the senior population, and I know I go through this trying to send out emails. No, Gayla, we don't read emails. We need it in paper. Where is it? Where is it?
Yep, we do everything. We do email.
I know.
We do keep them hard copy on site, and then we also send them out a physical mail.
Right.
Usually for the physical mail, those are folks that are friends of the senior center. So there's an annual membership fee for that, and one of the perks is you get it delivered to your house. But it has all the everything I've basically talked about right here. With monthly updates to keep people informed. But also, if you're just new and you're looking at it, you would know what we're talking about. You didn't have to read the other newsletters to know what's happening. There's puzzles in there. People like to do those. I see always people trying to fill those out. But it just highlights our monthly activities, our weekly activities, our daily activities, upcoming kind of one-off events. Patio parties are coming back this summer for those that don't know what that is. It's just barbecue on the patio. We're going to have 4 events, 2 in July and 2 in August. We'll have food, burgers, hot dogs, ice cream, and entertainment, music entertainment there. So if you have any questions about any of that stuff, the newsletter is where it's at. So stop by 25 Stone Street in Danvers and come by, because that is the place where you'll find all of this.
And another thing I want you to plug, or I will do it for you if you're not okay doing this, is you can be a sponsor of this, and there are little...
Yes. So at the back of the senior newsletter, you can take out an ad, and that ad just goes right back into our program. So, you know, if you're a local business and you're interested in getting your name out there, especially to the senior population, that will be definitely seen in that newsletter. So
it is, and they save it.
They do, and I think every senior that we give it to typically takes multiple versions of it. They'll have one at home, they'll have one in their car, wherever they can keep it and store it and look at it. Their kids will look at it, caregivers will look at it. So anything that you're interested in promoting that might be beneficial to caregivers and seniors, we're all for it. So
I know I would sit down with my mom and we would circle everything.
Yep.
So it would be like, oh, Gayla, they're doing this. I want to do this. And she just didn't have the patience to get on the phone. She lived in Beverly. So she would come to Danvers. I would take her to things in Danvers, and then she would go in Beverly. But calling and signing her up for everything was what she just didn't have the patience for, so I did it.
Understood.
Because you had to call between certain hours, and if you didn't get in for that class, they only had so many, and it was too stressful for her. So as soon as the phone lines opened, I had to be on that call making those appointments for her, because she's like, oh my goodness, I really want to do that, but if I don't get in, I'm like, okay, whoa, all right, we'll do that.
We're really trying to look at that and try and make sure.
Because that piece is stressful.
And make it as less stressful. I think a lot of it is the capacity of different events and things, but that's one thing we've been talking a lot of, like making it easier for people and having a lower threshold, so there's not really a barrier for people to call.
Right. If you know you only can have 10 or 15, it's like, oh my goodness, I really want to do that craft class, and if I don't get in, that's the only activity I want to do all month. So I mean, you know, to other people that's like, oh well, just sign up the next month. But if this is your big thing you look forward to every month and you can't get in. So we talk about, you know, the barriers, and that's another barrier. They can't get in. That's their one thing they wanted to do.
100%.
And then they're like gloomy.
It reminds me of college, when you had to sign up for classes and you had to get up real early and make sure you get in and sign in before others.
You're doomed. You've got nothing.
To go take some class you didn't even really want to take. I totally hear that. And I think the other point that you made that I want to comment on for folks is you don't have to just be a Danvers resident to utilize our services.
Right, because we had her come.
We have... You know, we work with our other senior centers to have relationships where you can kind of free flow. And if there's one thing happening here and another thing happening here, please come. We don't want it to just be Danvers.
It's your birthday breakfast you do with the waffles. Whatever that is.
They were doing. I haven't seen it in my time yet, so maybe
my mother came for that, because that
we do
was
our
huge.
Birthday celebrations. Yes, that's what it is.
Was exciting.
Yeah, so I think it's monthly. So usually it's whoever's birthdays are in that
month. Very exciting.
You can come for your birthday. I think it's cake now. I don't know if
well, you did something with waffles, and I know we had to be there for your breakfast with the waffles and the strawberries. And I'm just letting you know.
I guess I got to bring it back.
It was a hit.
Good to know.
It was a hit. So is there anything else you want everybody in Danvers to know? Because this has been great. I mean, I think we hit a lot of things that people probably don't know about, and especially how the senior center can work with caregivers and family members, which I think gets forgotten. And I would give you that piece as being a child who's walked through this with my mother. That is a piece that you guys don't hit enough.
Agreed. Yeah, it's
that
one
you
of the
need
things
to reach out to.
It's one of the things I talked about actually mostly in my interviews of. I think senior centers do a very good job tailoring their services to seniors.
Yeah.
But then there's the caregivers that are dealing with a lot of the day-to-day kind of logistics and planning and everything. And I'd like to start focusing a good amount on that. Obviously not our entire, but it is a part of the senior world.
Even a Caregivers 101 and how the senior 100%. Can help you have a reception night or something for that. That 100%. Would be huge.
We've started actually talking a lot about that.
Good.
Another thing is that the Senior Center is celebrating its 25th anniversary this year in September.
This is huge. So they brought you in at the right time.
We're
going to have a party.
We're going to have a party. We're going to have a party. We're in the initial planning, but I think it's September or October of this year
Great.
would be the 25th
Woo-hoo.
anniversary. So you'll probably see some type of messaging or
All right.
media or something.
I
on
love it.
that.
Well, DCAT will definitely promote it.
Appreciate
so whatever
that.
you need us to
Appreciate
do to
that.
make it magical.
And we want to make it so it's you know, an honoring the past and honoring what's going to be coming up in the future.
I love it. What
So
fun.
it's going to be something. So the
What
good
fun
thing
for
is
you.
we have, you know, someone like Paula, who's our assistant director,
Yeah.
as I mentioned, and she's been there 30 plus years in all different types of roles. So, you know, she's going to be helpful in getting some of
absolutely.
that
She's
historical
wonderful.
perspective in there.
And
But
do you want to say that you're the first male director? I thought this was riveting because
I
usually
am.
it's the other way around.
it's funny because in my first couple weeks, many people have commented on that. And so I'm also usually, there's not a lot of males in social work either. So shout out to the males that are in social
Woo-hoo.
work. But I think it's cool to have a different perspective.
Yeah.
I think it's, you know, I said we got to honor the 3 people that were before me because there were
Absolutely.
only 3 people.
Which is amazing
which is
that
great.
there's only 3. That's longevity in that
It
position.
shows you a lot
Which
about
is huge.
the quality of the people that they get in those positions.
And that they love
So,
their work. So that's
exactly.
great.
So we want to honor what they've built and what they've
Yep.
created, and then take with that infrastructure and make it even more. So
Great.
my word to Danvers folks is we're wide open right now on ideas. So if you have any suggestions, recommendations, please feel free to reach out to me. mmitchell@danversma.gov is my email. And, you know, I'm happy to talk, brainstorm, whatever it is, because we're an open book right now. We're not really,
Love
like
it.
I said, we're not looking to say no to very much because we want to kind of really tailor the services to, like you said, not just seniors, but caregivers and whoever will use our space. So
Great.
come down, check us out, and you'll
it.
learn all about it in person as well as what we just talked about.
Well, thank you so much. This has been a great conversation today, and I've taken some new things away from it too where we can help out. So thank you for that.
Of course.
And everybody, I hope you have learned some new things about the Senior Center and about, it's Matt though, right? Not
Yes.
Matthew, about Matt. And you can go and meet him and take a tour of the facility because it's absolutely gorgeous.
It is.
And the people there are wonderful. And then whenever you walk in, there's always something exciting and fun going on. And I have been challenged, like we talked about. I will have to take a line dance and a Zumba class because the ladies at Maple Street have challenged me. So
You're
challenge
more than
on.
welcome.
I'm gumming.
Come on by.
Now that I know I'm welcomed and I'm not 65, I can come in. So watch out. So make sure you join us next time, Danvers, when we talk to some more community leaders here in the area doing some very exciting things, everybody. Have a great day.